Hey guys, I'm Sam. I'm here with my boy Ren, and I'm going to be speaking today. Can you not say yo? Because it's really thrown me off. It's really thrown me off. Right. Sorry.
Ren, take one, scene one.
Hey guys, I'm Sam. This is my boy Ren, and we're going to be speaking today for Scott's Menswear. So Ren, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going all right, mate.
Been a
bit cold.
Yeah, been a bit of a terrible year, hasn't it?
It's been such a bleak start.
It's so bad. But it's true though. You can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. It's the facts. Yeah, sorry for getting deep, but I mean that is the case.
Yeah. We are in pandemic.
Would you say that's like affected your, I don't know, like your musicianship at all? Has it affected your creativity?
It's weird. I think we just all adapt, don't we? Like to what comes. So like, yeah, in the sense that we're not out busking all the time. I'm not busking with you. I'm not busking with the boys. I'm not playing shows. Like that is basically like the main thing that feeds you as a musician. But then you just have to change what you're doing. So I'm like writing a lot more at home, going to the studio a lot more. Yeah, it's just kind of that. You just kind of take what it is. It's so weird how something as big as this gets normalized. It's made me like realise so much how we take for granted just being able to see somebody, because never in a million years would you imagine a situation where you can't go and give like your family love when something like that happens.
It's like if you told me, like, this is a classic line, I'm sure everyone said this, but if you told me last year that that would have been an eventuality that I would have had to deal with, or you would have had to deal with this year,
our lifetime.
Like even in our lifetimes, at any point before last March, I would have gone, you are absolutely having a laugh, no way. Like, because like what could come about and do that to us? But it's the case. So do you think that with everything that's happened, the way you approach music, and like over the last 6 months, because in this country we've been like, it's been very up and down, our situation. Do you think that your music reflects the time that you made it in, or do you think that it's more like you wanted to avoid that and just make something that's really special that can last forever and can be in any time?
I think for me, like, yes and no, because I had like you know this, because I was like really, really sick with Lyme disease for like 8 years. I spent the majority of those 8 years in a bedroom anyway, like locked inside the bedroom. The only difference with this time and then was then I felt horrible. I felt like I had all these really bad symptoms. I was feeling terrible all the time. So a lot of my writing during that time was about being in isolation with an illness. And this time it's like, that's why I was like, it was like, I'm feeling great, yes, I'm gonna go back to the real world. It's like, nah, back in the room. I was like, oh, cool life, thanks, man. But now it's a different situation, because I'm in isolation, but I have a fully capable body. I'm not suffering with all these symptoms all the time. So it's like a different thing. But like writing wise, it's like a lot of my work has been quite centered around that, around like feeling kind of like isolated and cut off. There are so many people that are going through those chronic illness things that need to hear that there are stories of people that are moving past it, because like when I was in it, all I wanted to do was seek out stories of people who had gotten better, because like that's what made me feel like
motivated.
It was the life was worth hanging on for, because I was like, oh, so if that person can do it, then maybe I can do it. And like now that I've gotten to a place where I'm like not only gotten out of this like nightmare that I was living in, but also then managed to build somewhat of a successful career for myself.
You've done so well.
I would like that to be reflected, rather than me just still writing songs about isolation. Like I'd like that to be reflected and bring a bit more of a message of hope and stuff. But yeah, like you're saying, like you don't have to be sick to listen to it and then relate to it. So like even at a time like at the moment, like mental health problems have well shot up for people who are just inside all the time. So I almost feel responsible for people who are listening to me to sort of give them something that's a little bit more hopeful than just like, I'm really off about this situation, you know?
Yeah, man. I think that's like really natural as well. It's like when you go through something like that, obviously I can't relate, but obviously I've seen what it's done to you as a person, how it's made you grow. And I remember that summer when it was 2018, when we had that summer when everything kind of kicked off for us, like with the blind-eyed stuff. I always thought that was real special to be able to be part of that with you, like, because I remember we were sat in some restaurant once, and we'd just been shared on Instagram by Alfie Days and Zoe, and our Instagram was going mental, like, and we were like, oh my god, and I remember us looking at each other and going like, this is so sick.
But it was so cool because you were like busking musician, like, started as well, and I knew how much it meant for you, and you knew how much it meant for me to be like sat there being like,
oh look,
things are blowing up for us right now. Like, what?
And then we started seeing the videos, and like all the videos were doing really well. But it was more like it was being able to experience so cool, like, that so by chance, like and like all the stuff that happened, like all of it was so by chance. Like none of it was none of it was like prepared for.
No.
Literally, the only thing was prepped was the music video we made for the original version of Blind Eyed that we'd made 2 years ago. But we just sat on that for ages.
And we never really thought that it was going to be like this big.
Never,
thing
man.
That, like,
we just got up one morning and just decided to go for a bus.
But I think the coolest thing about that was like, if that had just happened to me, it probably wouldn't have been as cool, because I knew for a fact how much you were striving to make that happen, and you knew for a fact with me, even though I wasn't pushing it, like how much it meant to have come out of this illness, and then like the thing that I've wanted to do my whole life suddenly starts manifesting. So I was like, I had this being like, to see how happy it was making you, and then you to see how happy it was making me. That was well cool.
I remember those times when we'd pull up with our wheelbarrow with the amp inside it.
Literally walking around with a
wheelbarrow. But everyone in Brighton would see us and stop us and be like, hey, are you doing the bus, Claire? Yeah, I'm going to come down. And then there'll be like, by the end of the summer, there'd be like 600, 700 people on the street. We'd have the police there having to lock it off. And that felt like, and talking about...
I remember there was that day where we turned up because we were always a little bit late. The whole
everyone
street
just looked at us.
Was there waiting for us, and there was like no joke, it's like close to 1,000 people. Police on either side of it, and we were like, this is just from an Instagram story that we put up an hour ago. Yeah,
and that's how powerful it became. And like, I'll treasure that always, because I think that like experience, as you said, like experiencing that on our own would have been really like really cool. But like, you wouldn't. It's nice to know that throughout my life, if I ever want to like kind of talk about that, I'd always have someone who literally understands it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if I'd done that on my own and like told it to people, like no one would truly understand or appreciate
know that feeling.
The industry kind of, I feel like we helped like change things for young. I think a lot of people look at it. I've seen people cover Blind Eyed, like busking and stuff, like people actually covering that.
Being a musician, sometimes it looks like a little bit unattainable, because you've got all these, especially when you've got all these flashy music videos, fancy cars, like people in that has been like a standard of pop music for a while. So when you see just like a video of two kids out on the street looking a little bit scruffy with a guitar playing it, and then also being able to be successful online, like it makes this all of a sudden makes it accessible. So if you're a kid from like, you know, me, like broke kid growing up, you go, oh cool, I could just do that. All I need to do is grab a guitar
and learn,
get out on the streets, and I can actually do that. Like I don't have to have this big like flashy show. And I think that's why it went down really well, because there was no bells and whistles.
That was it, man. Well, it's been really sick speaking to you, man. I really, really appreciated it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, cool. Sweet.